It's going. It's live. Okay. Welcome to the summer television lineup sci-fi show.
Woo!
Which we're going to be discussing, because I don't know what number we're supposed to be on.
No, and you know what? Even when we say number, we never get it right. So I'm going to go with 473 and a half.
And a half. Part B.
Exactly. Subsection Y, because I can.
Okay, well, and yeah, and this just came across my desk, and so it hurt me a little bit.
Oh no!
So I'm gonna read it out loud.
Oh, so you can hurt me.
So I can share. I can share it. So it'll explain like why I'm in such a wackadoodle mood, because I am in a really like wacky mood. In a tug of war, okay, ready? In a tug of war, 5 donkeys are equal to 2 elephants. In another tug of war, 3 elephants are equal to 1 car. Which team should win if a car and 3 donkeys are matched against 4 elephants? And I went, it is Memorial Day weekend. Ow, stop it, no.
Wow.
So, and actually, I did figure out that it's the car and 3 donkeys, because there's only 1 extra elephant, which would be equal to 2.5 donkeys. So, ow! Right? No.
Aw, Jeans was mathing.
And that's the crazy part too, because I'm like one of those nutty people that did really good with like geography and took art classes. So I'm like the other side of the brain. So this
so because you were reading that to me and I was waiting for the punchline. I'm like, so when does it get bad?
No.
I love math problems. Mathing is fun. I spent all day mathing. It was awesome.
just no. So yeah, I thought I would share that.
More fun. I love word problem mathing. I was doing statistical mathing all day.
Oh. Yeah, no.
Lots of data analysis. I love it. It's fun, but I'm a big ol' nerd. I mean, I should come with a caveat. I feel like I need to get a t-shirt that says caveat. I'm a big ol' nerd.
No, I don't think you do. I think you're a pretty big nerd. I think that comes, science and yeah.
Oh,
so, same here. I mean, although, let's face it, that means that, apparently we're virgins. Thank you, Goyer.
Oh, God. Seriously?
You know what I am going to say? That whole David Goyer mess. I have to bring it up because we are geeks, and I feel like I know that there have been a lot of rebuttals. If you don't know about it, go Google his nasty words.
You can check out my Twitter feed for a retweet. It's beautifully articulated, I think, in an image.
And I think Hello Cookie did a really good job.
Also in my retweets, so you can find it in my feed.
Yes. And I do want to say my biggest issue wasn't even that he was just kind of a pig, which he was.
Because that happens. Sadly, you're allowed to be a pig in day-to-day life.
Right.
But,
My biggest issue with him, I think, is really the sort of, I will write for you and make money off of you, but I'm not one of you. That is my biggest problem with him, I think. I could care less if he wants to be a pig, which he really, really was, just an unmitigated jerkwad.
Well, and I don't, honestly, I don't understand mean-spiritedness, and this is what this came across as. I mean, we're talking awful, awful, and I don't get that. It doesn't appeal to me. I don't understand it. I never understood how you wake up one morning and think that would be an okay thing to say. That's so antithetical to me that I don't get it. The thing that I find the most offensive, and that's saying something because he was pretty offensive.
It was very offensive.
Really, actually offensive, um, was, and this is really, this is me being a bit ridiculous, I'm aware, because of all of the things to be offended by, and he provided us with such a number, you know?
I know, you really did.
I'm most offended by the fact that someone who is part of the creative process for something that I really enjoy is clearly stupid.
Yes.
Like I find that offensive. I am upset by that. I don't consider myself to be like upper echelon smart by any stretch of the imagination, but I want the people who contribute to things that I enjoy to at least be meeting the average meter. And this guy is clearly, like, painfully, inadequately stupid. And I find that really offensive.
Yes, it's stupid, and also, I guess...
And ignorant, which is worse, maybe, but
well,
like deliberately, I don't know. I don't even think it's deliberate. I don't think the guy has the intellectual capacity for deliberateness.
No, I agree, and I really want the people who work on things that I adore,
yeah,
to be enthusiastic about them, and he very clearly just threw up a wall between himself and all the fans and basically gave us the bird and said, I'm going to go cash my check now.
Yeah. And I mean, and you know what, like, seriously, I guess there are people out there who don't love their jobs, and that, I mean, I feel badly because you have to spend so much of your time and creative and intellectual energy at work.
Right.
I mean, you spend more time with people at work and working than you do with all of the people that you choose to be in your life. You know, your family, your friends, your loved ones, they all pale in comparison in terms of sheer time spent with the people and the things you do at work. So I think it's important to try and find something that you actually enjoy doing, or at least don't hate. But some people really seem to really want to be miserable, and this guy's clearly among that number. I don't get it. That is so not the way I choose to live my life, that I can't relate at all. And I think that's upsetting, is to find somebody involved in something that I really do relate to and find that I can't relate to this creative person. Like, sometimes, and I know we do this, you know, I know we sort of anthropomorphize our pets, and we really kind of project onto characters that we love, and then, you know, as related to the people who create those characters that we love. Who knows? So I know that I'm projecting all over the place. You know, when I see, you know, She-Hulk, I see a strong female character I can relate to, somebody I can really understand, somebody who has physical strength and is active, but also intellectual strength. And, you know, she's a professional, and she kicks some ass. And you know what? I love that. I can relate to that. I feel excited by that. I want to live up to that. Hell yeah, I'd like to be She-Hulk. You know what? One of my closest friends, her son and I had a little bonding moment not that long ago. He just turned 4, and we were going to play Marvel Heroes, because I love Marvel Heroes, and we were going to play Marvel versus DC, and we were going to do the whole universe, and we had this whole thing or whatever. Right. And he's like, okay, you can be anybody you want except She-Hulk, because I'm She-Hulk.
Awesome.
I'm like, I love you. You're awesome. I said, okay, all right. If you go, who can I be? He says, you can be Black Widow. I'm like, I have a costume. Oh my God, he crawled up in my lap to see a picture of me as Black Widow. He just loved that. But I could be anyone but She-Hulk, because he was going to be She-Hulk. That's amazing.
And she's a great character. And she's also cousins with...
Yeah. Oh, let's not even go with that.
Makes it even more
creepy. I get enough of that on Game of Thrones, you know?
Yeah, just, you know, uneducated and not...
Ain't nobody got time for that.
In trying to get it right, and I feel like it's such a waste to have someone like that working on things that we love, because there's so many people working on, you know, that would love to work on it because they thoroughly enjoy it. And I'm going to throw this up here. This is a ridiculously old relic from my childhood.
Nice.
And for everyone who hasn't heard of Martian Manhunter, which I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna throw at you. You know what? Let me find the right page here.
And
I'm gonna throw at you. Yellow Yahoo. The yellow Yahoo. Okay.
Nailed it.
So and man,
Well, you have children, so clearly you've had sex.
Exactly. At least 3 times, man.
How on earth did you find someone to have sex with you when
I
you're
know.
clearly a basement-dwelling nerd?
I know. The Green Gagsters and the Bluebird brothers. Yeah, yeah. And I have issues. Okay, so it's just I have issues. Which one of them, by the way, in case you were watching the Twitter feed, was that I got referred to as the dude on Twitter.
Oh, wow.
So I changed my picture because it's the only time it's ever happened. I mean, I've had short hair for a long time. I actually had hair shorter than this.
Yeah.
And it's never happened until I changed my picture to the one of me with R2D2, and I got referred to as Sir twice.
I think people sometimes just default to that.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, my first name is Bronwyn, which in Welsh, if you're reading the baby books, means white blossom, which is fantastic and pretty and adorable and everything like that. And it's considered a very feminine name. But if you actually speak to somebody who's from Wales, it's a little bit more colloquially known as she of white bosom. So,
which you are. You're very pale.
So also accurate, but also really funny when I get Mr., which happens regularly. It's like, okay, no, sweetheart, just because I supervise a lab and I'm super good at chemistry and I really love math doesn't make me a dude.
Yeah.
None of those things are true. No, I mean, all of those things are true except for the fact that I'm a dude.
Well, it's funny because like that'll happen to me sometimes at like drive-throughs because I have a deep voice. So, but on Twitter, like I'm clearly a chick because I have boobs and stuff. So, anyway.
Although, you know what? Honestly, with the whole sort of binary gender system going out the window, especially all over Twitter, and well, it should. You know, we want to be inclusive, and people can self-identify any damn way they want. I just feel like if you don't know for sure, maybe avoid the pronouns. There are some gender. You know, like I'm just saying.
You don't have to say sir. You don't.
While I appreciate the attempt at la politesse, I'm not even sure what to say that in American, but.
I know. Well, somebody was like, you don't look like a sir, and I'm like, maybe they think I'm a drag queen. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I mean, you're awfully pretty. And I have seen some really damn fine drag queens, so that's entirely possible. But to be fair, you're not as chesty as most of them.
That is true. Oh my. Very true.
But you know what? Honestly, it's not a big deal, really. I mean, I know it's sort of hard because you self-identify in a particular way, and when people don't sort of take the time to figure out what that way is, it's a little bit off-putting.
Right.
But realistically, there's nothing bad about being called a dude any more than there is a dude getting called a lady. You know, I mean, if people are trying to be polite, maybe we try and give it to them once.
Right.
After that, it just becomes willful, and no, you just need to start paying attention.
Right. So I changed my picture because I was annoyed. Anyway.
Change your picture to one with all sorts of cleavage.
yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have anything with cleavage. I almost changed it.
What if you were a drag queen?
to one where I was wearing a cosplay wig, and then I was like, you know what? I'm not giving you that. I'm keeping the short hair, but I do have. You can see there's boobs, so you know. Well, okay, let's change the subject.
Well, not just boobs. You've got the whole like female thing going on, you know.
I'm a little curvy.
Exactly.
I'm a little short and curvy. I had to say that in the teapot tune for whatever reason. Okay.
Take me over and pull me out.
I told you, I'm like wackadoodle. All right, so
too much mathing.
Exactly.
Let me
I had to figure out the donkeys. There was a car and an elephant, and I'm so confused. All right. I did want to say one of the things that was brought up for the summer lineup is Salem.
Yes.
On WGN. Did you catch that?
No, I keep seeing ads for it on the Space Network, and I haven't actually seen it yet. So, it hasn't worked into my schedule. Should I make some time?
I don't know. You know.
I mean, honestly, it looks full on cheesy, which I sometimes enjoy. So
it is if I'm gonna watch a witch thing, I think it's probably gonna end up, if I have to split my time, like witches of each East End, I think, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But there were some. If you want to watch a witch like suckle a frog from a nipple on the inside of her thigh, it's the show for you.
Oh,
I was like, really, really.
Okay, any number of phrases are going through my mind right now. I'm not gonna lie. But the one that is actually sticking with me, which I don't know if I should be happy or sad about, but the one that's really repeating and I'm finding is gaining some traction is, that's biologically improbable.
Which is true. Yeah, apparently, according to them, that's like one of the marks of a witch, is having nipples and, other places, or extra, or, I don't know. And so
Heating season awkward.
there's some really strange things that go on, and I'm kind of torn, because I find it sort of interesting in a very sort of like train wrecky, bizarre sort of way, sort of rubbernecking kind of way. On the other hand, there is a character called there's a character called Tituba on there. So they tried to base it in some level of historical fact. On the other hand, I kind of feel like they're dragging Tituba through the mud a little bit, because she's a little creepy and she's definitely not on the side of good. And I don't know that Tituba the slave in the real world. I mean, I went to Salem. It was actually a really cool place. I liked it there.
Nice.
And I was really comfortable. It was odd. And
oh God, there's 1,000 jokes they just tell themselves right there.
But Tituba was a slave, and she was, sort of crucified for, having different beliefs, and so I sort of really don't feel like this is maybe a nice thing to do.
Oh, and take two.
We had technical difficulties. I have no idea where that cut off exactly. I mean, I know the broadcast is still going and stuff, so I don't know where I'm gonna edit that. But really quickly, okay, so Salem, they have a character called Tituba, which I feel was not fantastic, because I feel like she was persecuted for her beliefs being different, and perhaps this is not the way to honor her, because she's kind of nasty in this. It's only 2 episodes in, so maybe there are things that I don't know, because I mean, as far as spoilers go, plug your ears. It's a town full of Puritans, and one particular person was sort of pushed around a little bit too much, and she's now she kind of made I don't want to say a deal with the devil, because it's not really the devil per se. At least you don't. Yeah, you're not quite sure. It's just it's dark and scary, and things happening. And Tituba kind of pushes her around a little bit into this sort of scenario, and is supportive of this dark male character that you don't quite get to see. And anyway, so like I said, I feel like maybe this was not the way to honor her, but
fair.
Anyway, so if you catch it and you're bored, watch it. But at this point, 2 shows in, I'm not hooked. I thought maybe it was going to be a little bit like Hemlock Grove, where it kind of took you a moment to kind of get into it, because it's a little off-putting, some of the things that go on.
Yep.
So I didn't know if maybe that was part of it, but I don't see myself watching any more of it.
No. I know there were a couple of things on the list that I was really looking forward to. A couple of things on the list that I was kind of like, okay, I will see where that goes, maybe.
Okay.
And there were a couple of things on the list I'm like, yeah, and that's a big old pass for me. So I don't know. I mean, summer's not really a high TV watching kind of thing for me. I've got my Rookie Blue that I love, and I'm obviously looking forward to Doctor Who, freaking And there are definitely a few things on the list that I'm really intrigued by.
And I will share a link to the list, by the way, that we're referring to.
I have fallen so far behind on Orphan Black that I have to avoid Twitter whenever it's on because I want to avoid spoilers because I really do want to get caught up. So I haven't seen anything from season 2 yet. So that's on my list of summer things to get caught up on and watch.
Okay.
I haven't.
Show.
Yeah,
I like it.
I love her, like Tatiana Massa, however you say her last name, I can't remember.
Very talented.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's one of those few people, like, usually when I see, oh, the same actor is playing a bunch of different roles on the same thing, I think, oh God, that's going to be horrifically bad.
Eddie Murphy.
Oh, Jesus H. Christ on the proverbial crutch. Like, no, not for me. Not for me. But I really like her in what I have seen of Orphan Black. So while the premise is not quite selling me yet, because I am quite far behind, just so everybody knows. But you know, and it's tough. I work in a lab and I science professionally, you know.
Right.
And not specifically cloning, obviously, but there are some things that when people just put it into a script and expect everyone to take it at face value, I can't because it's contradictory to something I know.
Right.
At least sometimes it takes me a little while to get past that and to get into the willing suspension of disbelief. And I think that's just the only issue that I'm struggling with a little tiny bit with Orphan Black. But I feel like that will be solved by binge watching. You know, because then you get sucked right in, right? So, which I think is part of the appeal of Hemlock Grove. You know, was that it wasn't
the appeal and hangover afterwards.
True. There's definitely a downside, but for me, I think Hemlock Grove probably wouldn't have captured me quite as thoroughly if I hadn't been able to watch multiple episodes at the same time. You know, I probably would have given too much thought between episodes and think, oh, maybe that didn't work so well, you know? But because I could just stay watching the story, at least for chunks at a time, I found that a good medium for that type of show.
And that is actually on, while we're on that subject real quick, July 11th that starts on Netflix, so that should be fun. We all want to see what's glowy, don't we?
Exactly. Well, and I'm doubly excited for this season actually because I am deeply hopeful that they will actually answer some of the questions that I had from the first season, and I really need them to because I don't know that they'll get a third season out of me if they don't start to fill some of the giant gaping plot holes. But my cousin is actually one of the actors in season 2 who's in every episode, so I'm really excited to see it and support her in that. So her name is Shauna MacDonald and she's fabulous. She's a kind of Canadian face that you see if you watch any Canadian television. So
cool. Okay, well, that's on my list. Although I can't binge watch like I did last time, so they may not be able to keep me for a whole season because I had a funk about me for like 2 days afterwards because that is some dark, weird, busy stuff. It's stuff. Because I don't want to edit this, man.
I know.
Right. Well, mother. I'm doing it anyway. Might as well. All right. No more cursing.
No.
I figured it's all in that little area. If you have any, get it out now.
No more cursing.
Okay. Something I want to mention, Rosemary's Baby. I watched the first episode of that. I couldn't get to the second episode. I just couldn't do it. It was so not the original movie. So I don't know. So if anybody does catch that, because I know there's still sort of like, you know, it's available to watch. Like, I don't know if it's Hulu or if it's ABC, but you can watch it. And that was with Zoe Saldana, and I just.
I know, and I find her fairly charming to watch on screen sometimes. You know, I think she's lovely. But I didn't see any advertisements for that at all. So I I didn't even know it was on, and then when I saw, like, I flipped past it on my guide, I didn't have time to sit down and actually watch TV,
Right.
so I didn't really even kind of know what was happening until after we talked about it, and that was after the first.
I can't imagine the circumstances which would lead me to watch the second episode.
Wow.
I'm thinking like maybe I'm hit by a car and in a hospital and it's the only channel that works.
Ooh. And at that stage, you might bring a book.
And I'm too morphined up to read a book. That would be really the only instance that would lead me to watch the second episode.
Yikes, with a capital Y.
So just to color that picture in for you, and I like her. I mean, I like her as Uhura, and I've seen her in some other stuff, and I'm
so
nothing against her.
In Guardians.
Yeah.
Yeah, freaking out. I think she's, I'm fingers crossed. I'm very hopeful that she is going to do justice to Gamora. I love Gamora, so.
All right, I want to mention that something I do want to watch that I have not gotten to watch it. It did start is Bloodlines. I do like Supernatural. I'm always kind of like a season behind. I've watched a lot of it because it's on in the mornings, and I kind of do my workout stuff in front of the TV, and it's on at that point. But like I don't get to watch it on Saturday nights usually when it's on. So I do like it. I love Dean. I think he's hilarious. I like the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, how the actors are, and Jensen, Ackles, and I can't remember his name. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, okay. Anyway, I will figure it out. Bloodlines takes place in Chicago.
Right.
That's the reason I'm interested in kind of watching that one, because it's always fun to watch local stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was one I wanted to mention. Crossbones with John Malkovich. Are you gonna watch it?
I don't know. I mean, I think it has potential, but okay. So John Malkovich, yay! I'd love to see that. Pirate show. Not that I don't love sort of the Pirates of the Caribbean kind of things and things like that. I don't know. Just the idea of just a generalized pirate show is not that appealing to me. Like I get the appeal, and I love, going to pirate parties and stuff like that. And I have a pirate hat in the backseat of my car. Like my car is named the Black Pearl because that's the color I actually purchased. I had to buy that color as soon as I found out it was in the catalog. I mean, how could you not, right? But obviously.
I like piratey things, just not piratey shows.
And I think, like, I'll try it because I like John Malkovich, and it should.
Right.
The idea of a pirate movie, hell's that. I'm in. For 2 hours, you can make a story out of that. Right. I don't understand how this will have any longevity. Do you see what I mean? Like, I don't know where the story could go. I don't know anything. I don't know enough about it to think, that's totally a good story. Just watching this guy rape and pillage for once a week for 12 weeks doesn't,
I'm very interested in like Buccaneers and pirates, and I will watch all that stuff when it comes on the History Channel. So I'm very curious as to how this will play out. I was a little kerfuzzled as to how he was going to play Blackbeard when he's like gotten a beard, but
is that who he's supposed to be, Blackbeard?
Yes, he is.
Well, something of a misnomer.
I was like, okay, isn't Blackbeard supposed to have a beard? Because it's Blackbeard.
I think they need to do a sequel to the movie Being John Malkovich, but like on the set of John Malkovich Pirate Show.
There you go. I was just like, I know you get to come out, you get to crawl out of his beard.
The non-existent beard. It's very existential.
I'm so confused.
Wow.
But so I don't know. Maybe and then like my brain starts like running off. Like maybe it's maybe he said beard because his best friend is gay, and that like or
oh my god, that
or maybe Maybe, I know, right? Or maybe it's a beard that, it's a proverbial beard, sort of like, psychologically speaking. Anyway, so there's, or maybe he puts on a beard when he goes to rape and pillage. I don't know. It's strange. It's just, he's, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
no beard.
Yeah. So Crossbones,
Blackbeard.
NBC on the 30th, and I do want to check it out, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna see. Like, if it conflicts with anything, I guarantee you it's not gonna win. Yeah, I don't know. I am curious about this one, Penny Dreadful. I haven't heard anything.
Okay. Yes.
I'm really curious about that one. That one, the premise has got me a little bit more intrigued.
You know what? Let me look it up on IMDb at the moment, and I will tell you what the well, then again, it may not. Penny Dreadful. Here we go. Let's see what it says.
Yay!
And get out of my way. There we go. Okay. Explorer Sir Malcolm Murray, American gunslinger Ethan Chandler, and others unite to combat supernatural threats in Victorian London.
See, what?
What? It's got Eva Green, and I like her.
Exactly.
I thought she was hilarious in that Johnny Depp movie. What was that? Where he was the vampire? Dark Shadows. The one that I love.
Yes, that was
the Koopa Woman.
Hysterical.
Yeah, I like her in that, and I liked her the first time I saw her, which was in that movie with Orlando Bloom.
Oh yeah.
Kingdom of Heaven. So I like her, so I kind of want to check it out a little bit.
Yeah, I do too. What else was there that I was intrigued by?
Was that you making
that
that
was me.
Wow, that's good. Sounded like your phone was going off.
What was it?
That was me.
Yeah, Penny Dreadful, I kind of wanted to see.
The Quest, I'm a little disappointed by, I have to say. I mean, I'm sure we all knew it was coming, but that's I think they described it as Lord of the Rings meets like a reality show.
Yeah, the producers of Lord of the Rings combined with the producers from The Amazing Race make a fantasy reality TV series. Well, see, yeah, right off the bat, reality TV not my thing. So.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a little, yeah.
And I'm so true-blooded out, it's not even going to happen.
Are you going to watch the Will Wheaton Project while we're on to shows that are not on the list there? I just realized that one's not on the list. It should be on the list because that's a sci-fi. I mean, yeah.
I mean, I think Will Wheaton's hysterical. He's so charming, but and I mean, I have to love his sort of modus operandi for Twitter.
Yeah.
Very simple. Don't be a dick. I love that.
Yeah.
And certainly his wife is hysterical. I like to follow her as well.
They're a fun couple. Yeah.
Yeah, they are. They're adorable. So, yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by a project that he's involved with. So I would check that out.
Okay.
I'm really annoyed. I'm not a Michael Bay fan. Like. Not a Michael Bay fan. I respect the man's ability to.
One more time.
Pardon?
One more time.
Really, really not a Michael Bay fan. No, I mean, no, don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't think he has talent. The man can do an action sequence.
Right.
Like nobody's business. But, oh my God, I just cannot handle him if he has any creative control. Like, at all. The man cannot write. He should have no input on script. Oh God, the blatant stereotyping. Oh, painful and unnecessary and so bad. Oh, it's so painful. Oh God, I have to hide. It's awful. He ruins things. So The Last Ship would totally be something that I would watch premise-wise, but the fact that they started the description with Michael Bay's, I was like, and I'm out.
Okay, so the show is called The Last Ship. Is it a TV show?
Apparently.
Okay.
So, I don't know. And then, okay, speaking of big names on TV all of a sudden, what the hell?
Uh-huh.
Extant with Halle Berry?
Huh.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did when I saw the ad.
Rolled right over that.
Yeah. So The Last Ship is Michael Bay's post-apocalyptic series set on a boat I'm on a boat. And based on the novel by William Brinkley, set after a terrible pandemic kills 80% of the world's population, the last ship follows one surviving U.S. Navy ship as they float around the planet looking for a cure. Yeah. Skip, skip, skip.
Okay. Sharknado 2, I think, will be fun, just because.
I still have to see Sharknado 1, I'm not gonna lie.
It's not fantastic. I mean, it's funny. It's horrible. It is bad sci-fi at the height of bad sci-fi. I mean, it's.
But there's nothing quite like sitting around live tweeting a snark fest.
Yes.
On a bad sci-fi.
Yeah. And that was definitely one of them. And it was pretty.
Awesome.
It was awful and hilarious and awesome and definitely just worth a good laugh and just how ridiculous it was. And so I kind of want to check out the second one. And I saw a commercial with Ian Ziering, so they're bringing him back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they tried. I want to say they tried to like pull him off as like not a Marine, but something like that. It just didn't. It didn't sit well with me after his years on 90210. I was like, no.
You mean he's not a good enough actor to pull off that kind of role reversal?
I'll give you 20, but you're going to have to give me a lot of change on that because I don't buy it. Anyway, so yeah, that's July 30th on SyFy.
Nice. Very exciting. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm intrigued by the idea of the SyFy lineup this summer. I'm not 100% committed, but I'm very intrigued.
I do want to watch Defiance. I'm committing to that. I don't know when I'll get around to some of the other things, but
I missed like the last episode of the last season, so I have to watch that and then get caught up.
It's fun. It was a lot of backstories, and I think that was something that Karmic9 on Twitter, Mel, our buddy, she didn't like about it, was that there was sort of like a lot of setup because there's a lot of different races.
Yeah.
That are involved. In order to kind of explain some of these things, they did a lot of like kind of origin stories. And if there's anything we learned from Heroes, is that nobody wants to watch one origin story after another.
No,
we
good to have a little
history
from time to time, but you really have to establish why we care before you go back that far.
And sometimes there's just your plot becomes convoluted by the number of origin stories, and it's kind of what happened with Heroes, and that's kind of big motorcycle day today. It's kind of what's going on with Defiance is they're sort of diluting the plot a little bit. We'd like to move forward with something as opposed to looking at origin stories all the time. It gets old.
Honestly, that's part of why it's part of why I struggled with Arrow at first. Was the flashbacks. I mean, because I'm sorry, but like and I get that they want to make this poor guy look rough, you know, this Stephen Amell or whatever I love him. He's fabulous, you know, he's super nice and fun, and I enjoy him as the main character, but they put that awful wig on him just to make him look rough, and oh no, not okay.
And we have a thing about wigs. It doesn't.
I know. Why is it? I don't understand why a really bad wig just knocks me right out of I can't. I'm like, okay, and I'm done. I can't. Right. But the flashbacks in the first season were really rough for me to take. I didn't like the first season of Arrow at all. I did, however, give it a second chance for second season. I watched the first season recap just to glean anything important that I missed when I was scoffing and yelling at the TV trying to watch it the first time. And I have to admit that second season was much, much better.
Okay.
Much better.
Then I may have to give it a shot. So and that's two things I have to work on. I will work on that because I had a really hard time getting into it.
Yeah.
And then also Attack on Titan is something that was recommended to me by Rob Mullig, so I gotta try and get on that, and that's on Netflix too. He was binging on it.
Okay.
That's anime.
Oh, all right. I'll have to check that out. Awesome. It's been a long time since I've seen a new anime.
Um, Witches of East End. I kind of want to check that out again. I'm not. I'm almost like. I hate to say it, but just the fact that it's on Lifetime just always turns me off. Just, I can't believe I'm watching Lifetime television. Um, but I do like it. It's kind of fun. I really like some of the actresses and stuff, and I like uh, pretty much the predominantly female lead. Sort of the four of them are strong characters and strong actresses, and I like that.
Yeah, that's.
Uh,
I really, really, really wanted to love that show.
it got better. It did the beginning. Yeah, it
I'm
got
told
better.
I should probably try and give it another shot. I did for Arrow, so I should for that.
It was fun. It was it's there's some bits to it that are definitely Lifetime television, but
Yeah,
there are
and
some good
it
parts too.
came off as a little bit too soap opera-y for me. It's just not some. It's not a formula that I'm used to or enjoy
Right.
particularly. Right? It's like you laugh. He's talking about 90210 and whatever. I never watched that. I've been solidly sci-fi girl my whole life. Right?
Yeah.
So that does limit me. I'm aware. I should expand my horizons a bit, but and I really wanted to love it for the witches and the magic and the stuff like that. But
And
the
that's what draws me in and keeps me there is
yeah,
that portion of it. I mean, because there's a lot of shows that are like that. Like I joke, but I think that like Alias
yeah,
was just built solely on the premise that somebody had like a dare going, I can get men to watch a soap opera.
yeah.
And that's what
Well,
they did.
and it's funny because I really wanted. I had a moment like a month ago where I wanted to rewatch Alias because
Mhm.
I had loved it, and then it kind of trailed off for me. I really liked watching Sydney, make this.
Yeah,
She was always, kicking ass, and I love that.
right.
But it did get too soap opera-y for me, and I started to sort of fall off of watching it. And I thought, I want to go back and I want to watch that first season again and see if it's still awesome or if I just happened to be in the right time, like
Yeah,
sort of
because
headspace when it came on. But I can't find it anywhere. It's like not on Netflix. It's not. Yeah.
but some shows can blend those elements well enough where you may not notice them as much as others, and so for me that one initially at least it does have some elements of it that kind of continue through, but it's fun. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not like I don't want the relationships in a show because really that is what drives it a lot of the time is how people interact and stuff like that. But I don't want it to just be about the interaction. I want the interaction to be beefing up the story
Right.
as opposed to the story beefing up the interaction.
Right.
It's just a matter of kind of the meat of the story.
um I hear you. um I'll let you know kind of how it goes through season 2 as well.
Yeah, let me know because if you still are loving it for season 2, I'll give it another shot.
Okay, yeah, and I think part of the reason that I love it so much is because I'm a huge practical magic fan, and so this sort of fits in that sort of weave. Um, but anyway, okay. So, and then the last one I wanted to talk about is Doctor Who in August. It's coming back with Peter Capaldi.
Yeah, I am intrigued to see how he will do. I don't know. I mean, I'm always a little sad to see an old doctor go, but I'm
Yeah.
always excited to see a new doctor too. And they have yet to disappoint me. I know, okay, everybody picks their favorite, and I get it because I have had to because you have forced me. Um,
Because I made you do it.
but I love the Doctor, and I love every iteration. I find something amazing about each one of them, and
Yeah.
so I'm yet to be disappointed, and I think that he'll be awesome, and I'm excited to see it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still holding out hope for Idris Elba and a ginger female Doctor at some point down the line, but we have Peter Capaldi for this season, and I'm excited to see him rock it. So.
I'm excited too. I think he's gonna do well. He I don't know. It's just again, it's that certain kind of quirk.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got it. Um, So it'll be fun. And I watched the Pompeii episode again just to get a quick look at him.
Ha.
Because he's in. It's kind of funny that he was actually on the show. It's
I love it.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, to some degree, he would kind of have to be. I mean, it's almost like every British actor has been on the show at some point in time or another.
Well,
It's very, I mean, with the exception of like Fassbender and a couple of those guys, it's sort of like, haven't they all been on there?
It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, I mean, the acting pool is only so big, so it's just sort of funny that he was actually on the show and now he's going to be the Doctor. So
I know, anyway. It's fantastic.
Just a little bit awesome.
Yeah.
All right, I think that covers a lot of. I mean, we skipped over quite a few things that are gonna. I mean, I'm. There's a lot of things that are also coming back, Game of Thrones and True Blood and all that stuff. But I think we hit some. I think we hit some of the good ones.
Yeah.
And also, of course,
I'm excited to be all caught up on Game of Thrones, though. I finally did it.
I am so not even remotely caught up. I have only ever seen season 1.
Okay, that was where I was like a month ago. And then I binge watched, and all I could hear for like 3 weeks was the theme song. But and I feel like I earned a badge that like there should be sort of an internet thing, it says you watched that much Game of Thrones in that little time and you survived. Like emotionally and psychologically intact. But I do. I find it's great, and it is that kind of, how each show that you watch sort of offers you catharsis to a specific part of your personality, right?
Yeah.
And this is definitely the catharsis for my bloodthirsty side.
Awesome. Okay.
What did they say? I saw. Sorry, just as a little last note that I thought you would appreciate. They described Game of Thrones as what you watch for when the sunny disposition of The Walking Dead just isn't enough.
There you go. That's nice.
Right.
All right. Do we know when that's coming back?
I think September, October.
Okay. And then they're supposed to be working on that Walking Dead dose, right?
Yeah.
So, interesting. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I've seen some stills and stuff from AMC, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been watching Turn. We'll talk about that another time.
Because I am intrigued to hear your thoughts on that one.
Yeah, probably not. All right.
Always.
Okay, so that was the summer lineup that we are interested in watching. Sorry if we missed your favorite. Ping us on Twitter and we'll squeak it in somewhere. You know what?
Yeah.
We had the technical difficulties and we forgot to put the stuff back up here.
We really, really did.
All right,
so refer to the beginning of the episode for our Twitter handles, where we have @ShinyBabyB and
Young Jeans. Also, you can go to bringoutyourgeek.com and we have the Twitter feed up there, so you can go find us that way too.
And I really think you should.
And on that note, good night, folks.
Good night.